Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome to Don Mountain. My name is Jason Cox. I'm one of the students here. I've been here about 15 years. I'm on the rotating team of people volunteering to lead the Sunday meditation. Our founding teachers, you may be familiar with, Dr. Riggs and Droma, Lama Riggs and Droma, who is Dr. Ann Klein, who teaches at Rice University, and Lama Namgyal Dorje, Harvey Aronson. And with us here today, Lama Rigzen Shereb Gyatso, Nathaniel Rich, also serves at 84,000 words as one of the chief editors there, making important contributions to translating Tibetan scripture into English. On Sunday mornings here, our practice is twofold. We will alternate mindfulness of breathing, where we settle our attention on our breath at some certain point. Maybe that's the tip of our nostrils, or maybe it's in our chest, or maybe in our belly, a couple of finger widths below the navel and inside that general space. When we do that, we'll hold our attention on the breath for 3 or 4 minutes at a time. When our mind wanders, we'll gently bring our attention back to that point. And after a few minutes of this, we'll ring the bowl and switch to a chant. We'll chant the syllable hung twice in one breath, everyone at their own pace, something like hung, hung. And this is a practice that was given to us by our teacher in Tibet, our teacher's teacher, Adzam Rinpoche. And we'll do that chant for about 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes. We'll get an impression of how that makes our body feel. And then we'll go back to mindfulness of breathing. We'll alternate this a few times. We'll read briefly from Pema Chodron's book, Comfortable with Uncertainty, one of the short chapters here. We'll do a little more meditation, and we'll dedicate the merit of our practice to all sentient beings, and especially to those whose names are in this book. So when we do, we'll be passing this book around, and you guys can add names to it for the closing. And we do all this practice for the benefit of ourselves and for all sentient beings. And to that end, we always open our practice with a heartfelt aspiration that what we're going to do will have that benefit. So if you all can read with me. May all beings always have happiness and its causes. May all beings always be free of pain and its causes. May all beings always be pain-free and live happily. May no beings ever cling to those near nor spurn those far. For as long as space abides, as long as the world remains, just so long may I be there, resolving all beings' pain. So, as we get started, take a moment to settle into your seat, to find a comfortable, balanced position. You want to keep your back straight but not stiff. You can relax your shoulders. And it's exactly You have the support of your skeletal structure. That's what allows you to relax all your muscles here, to settle in. You also have the support of your seat, your cushion or chair, and in fact the whole earth. We're all sitting directly above the center of the earth. So that's a great support for our meditation. You can also feel into the support of a central channel, energy running from the base of your seat up through the crown of your head, running in front of your spine. You can feel into or imagine that energy, how that also supports you, allows you to relax into the seat. Turn your attention to your breath. At that point of choosing your nostrils or your chest or your belly. And just notice if the breath is, one breath seems long or short. Feel the space between breaths, if there is one. A transition. You really just want to feel into what this breath is like. Don't overanalyze. Just get the sense. And spend the next couple minutes with gentleness and curiosity, feeling what each breath is like. We'll do this for a few minutes. When your mind wanders, you can label whatever arose, whatever thought or feeling arose, distraction or thinking, and then gently come back to the breath. See what it's like afresh. when we chant, just feel, want the whole sensory experience, what it's like to hear the chant, to feel the vibration within you, to feel the room's presence. Take a moment to notice how you feel physically, any difference of sensation or mood, emotional tone, before or after the chant. And settle back onto the breath at that point. Feel what the breath is like now. Maybe different, maybe the same. Notice how the pressure changes in your chest, or the temperature differs on the in-breath and out-breath. Again, just experience, get familiar with the breathing. Just feel what it's like. When the mind wanders, gently bring it back. Take a moment to sense how you feel. And settle again on the breath. Experience what it's like this time. Everyone take a minute to stretch. And if you want any water, it's a good time. We have something over in the corner. Go ahead and pass around the book of names. 18 today. Okay, so we're reading from Comfortable with Uncertainty. This is a book by Pema Chodron, who's one of the early and leading Westerners trained as a Tibetan monastic, prolific writer. And each of the chapters in this book is approximately one page. They're all very short. There's 108. And today we're reading chapter 18 called Relax as It Is. Relax as it is. It's helpful to always remind yourself that meditation is about opening and relaxing with whatever arises, without picking and choosing. It's definitely not meant to repress anything, and it's not intended to encourage grasping either. Allen Ginsberg used the expression surprise mind. You sit down and wham! A rather nasty surprise arises. So be it. This part is not to be rejected, but compassionately acknowledged as thinking and let go. Then, wow, a very delicious surprise appears. Okay, this part is not to be clung to, but compassionately acknowledged as thinking and let go. The surprises are endless. Milarepa, the 12th century Tibetan yogi who sang wonderful songs about the proper way to meditate, said that the mind has more projections than there are dust motes in a sunbeam, and that even hundreds of spears couldn't put an end to that. As meditators, we might as well stop struggling against our thoughts and realize that honesty and humor are far more inspiring and helpful than any kind of solemn religious striving for or against anything. In any case, the point is not to try to get rid of thoughts, but rather to see their true nature. Thoughts will run us around in circles if we buy into them. But really, they're like dream images. They are like an illusion, not really all that solid. They are, as we say, just thinking. You know, we mentioned in our at the beginning of the meditation practice and throughout that when the mind wanders, we want to just, acknowledge whatever it is that has arisen, and we can then label it what it is, thinking or some kind of distraction, and that it's quite fleeting. She uses the analogies of like an illusion, like dream images. Some of the Mahayana sutras say like a bolt of lightning. Each of these thoughts that occurs to us is just flashes, and then it's gone. Or like a bubble in a puddle. It looks like it's there for just a second, and then it's gone. Or like a shadow, appears to be, or a reflection in a mirror. Appears real, but not so much, very fleeting. She mentioned Allen Ginsberg's expression of surprise mind. I like that very much. There's also this phrase from Zen Buddhism of a beginner's mind. We talk about each time we come into the meditation, sort of looking at our breath or our experience with anew, what it's like this time, not bringing our pre-existing expectations into it. And what we're trying to do is not get rid of thoughts, not repress anything, not even encourage some kind of grasping, but rather opening and relaxing with whatever arises. And so, that process involves us tuning into our experience so that we notice when we are clinging on to something or being repulsed from something, so that we get to a place where we can be a little looser and relax into our experience a little more. And that's what occurred to me. I'd love to hear from any and everyone else online or in person, especially Sherab Gatso. Love to hear from the audience too. from our participants rather.
You know, what occurred to me is there can be, at least in my experience, a kind of tension between the technique of meditation and this idea of seeing what actually arises, seeing the nature of your thoughts. There are kinds of meditation where you might do just that, where you might sit with a kind of open awareness and just observe what comes and goes in your experience. But the kinds of meditation that we did this morning, that we do on Sunday mornings, involve a particular technique where, at least ideally, you're trying to direct your attention to a particular object, like the breath or the sound of hum. And in that context, sometimes when a nasty surprise or a pleasant surprise arises, it can feel like a kind of interruption. Like, that's not the meditation. I have to now go back to the meditation. I have to bring my attention back to the meditation. And there is something to that. It's not that you're trying to repress whatever comes up. You notice it and you bring your attention back to the object. But even when you do that, it's still, as Pema Chodron says, really important to see what you actually experience, even as you're trying to practice a particular kind of meditation. In this context, I always remember something I read. It was actually about research, and it was, never be so focused on what you're looking for that you fail to see what you actually find. And sometimes in meditation, you're looking for, let's say, the object of your meditation, if you're practicing a particular technique. And that is important, but you can't be so focused on that you fail to notice what it is that you actually experience. And remembering that, reminding yourself of that, can be really useful, I think, in my
experience. I liked the Allen Ginsberg quote about the nasty surprise. It wasn't just like unpleasant or something like that, but the nasty part, I liked. I mean, he just went there, so I like that. I also like how you expounded on this, Jason. Like the next time you have to do the 4-point chapter, you should expound like that too.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
But thank you.
I particularly appreciated the highlighting of the thoughts as like dreams, something that and also that they'll kind of run you around, because I have so many good ideas that I just can run myself ragged trying to enact all these ideas, right, rather than just observing them. It made me think of a talk that I was listening to describing the mind as almost as if it's using the metaphor of like a weather report that it says if the mind is like a weather report that made it slightly more likely that the weather would occur, and so I've really been thinking about that as like the dream, that you're making. It's like as if the weather forecast was rain, and in forecasting rain it made more likely for rain, and that's kind of how the mind works. So.
Thank you so much for the meditation and for the reading. Something that I've been trying to do in my practice lately, with the thoughts that come in during meditation, is to find the humor, not just to like let it go and try to release it, but to find the cracks in it that, do bring a little bit of levity. It's like thinking about like that person that always knocks on your door, and you're like, oh, they're back. Okay, welcome them in. And that's something I've been trying to incorporate, and this made me really kind of realize that. So thank you.
Annie.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much for that. I'm just it's interesting, but my meditation has sort of maybe shifted a little bit. It's where it started with Vipassana. But I'm reading Harvey's book, and it's sort of reminding me that as these thoughts come in, to sort of sit with the sensation in the body too, to overall. And I know that that's me. I don't know if that's, it sounds like that's more of a Western rather than Eastern, but being able to sort of sit with it and feel it. I think that's something that's shifted because I think I started with Vipassana, but then I got to a point where I tried to label it like thinking, feeling, whatever, that kind of thing, and then sort of watch the cloud of thought float away. But I think these days I'm sort of sitting with the sensation. If a thought comes up and a sensation shifts, so it's changing my meditation a little bit. So that was great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody's thoughts. Let's turn our attention back to the breath here. So let's start by finding our seat again. We want a settled, comfortable spot for ourselves. And again, with a fresh curiosity and gentleness, let's turn our attention to our breath at that spot. take a moment to sense how you feel. And turn back to the breath. want to thank everyone for coming today. It's really good to see so many faces, especially here with the new year, fresh start, fresh slate, all that. We'll dedicate the merit of our practice, read a blessing, and go over the names here. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. With all of you in mind, we light this lamp of clarity. May the glow of love, wisdom shine within us, everyone, till we all rise forth born in one enlightened mandala. We dedicate our merit to all beings, and especially to Andy Rowe, Rhett Douglas Meserly, Small Cat with White Paw, all in the Bardo, Cheryl Henderson in the Bardo, Sharon, Bonnie, Chip, Brenda, Ann Kreinberg in the Bardo, Lynn Bartholomew, Dewey Nolan, Clifford Wartz, Nam Vo, Warren K, Sonam Tomu Bhutia, Renee, Camachos, Monica, Larry, Jamie, Louie, Benjamin, Robin, Alice, Vivian, Maria, Gaza, Sue S, Nancy M, Rick, Betty, Alicia, Melissa B, Venezuela, Marcella, Ramon and Andrea, Susie and Joey, Grandma, Papa, Catherine, Annie, Hanadi, Mom, Terry, John's Healing, Judy, Angie and Cindy's Recovery, Claudia, Mike, Allison, Joe, Pat, Danita, Chet, Hunter and Janine, Edward and Rachel, Annie, Alice B in the Bardo, Bruce, Valerie, Amy, Tex, Danny in the Bardo, Dad, Darcy, Nancy, Robert's mom, Karen K, Susie, Jerry's Healing, Cheryl's Healing, Ruth's Healing, Pat's Healing, Madeline's Healing, Candace, Shane, Jason, Emily, Lama Sherab, Lama Namiel, Lama Rigzin, all sentient beings, Jennifer, daughter, Rebecca, Coda, Chip, Cami, Guillermo, parents, Anna and Mac, Zaina, and Hunter. Thank you, everyone. And sorry. Oh, there. And then Emily, if you would be willing to tell us what's going on lately, some announcements.
Yes, I will make some announcements. So today, immediately following the meditation, we have Lama Rigzin Cherub will offer us a teaching, and then we will have free lunch here for those of you who are in person. Next Sunday, we're going to have a special event after meditation. So that's Sunday, January 11th at 11 a.m. Central. We're going to have this Creating Light in the Darkness. I'll have Lama Rigzin Cherub talk about it in just a minute. The new teaching series starts on January 18th. We will find out about that soon. February 20th through the 22nd, we will have our next Sochin Cycles retreat. It is part 2 of Seeing to Being. If you're interested and you didn't participate in part 1, that's okay. Email me. I can answer any questions you have and we can talk about your participation. If you participated, you know the retreat was wonderful and we are continuing the practice. We're also going to have a Losar community potluck Saturday, February 21st at 5:30. This is a Tibetan New Year. We will be welcoming the year of the fire horse. We'll have some traditional Tibetan activities that they do for the new year. We'll do that here together, and then we'll enjoy a community potluck. So, thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
Emily, I could add that the new teaching series will be in detail about refuge. We'll be looking at all the types of refuge, the meaning of refuge, and sources and just the diverse aspects that the act of taking refuge involves. That starts on January 18th.
Thank you, Lama Namgyal.
Well, thank you, everyone. With that, we've got about 6 minutes before the teaching will start. So if you'd like to take a break, grab water, use the restroom, this will be a great time. And thanks, everybody.